Powers are sometimes called indices, and they are neat ways of writing products. For example, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 can be written as 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2 is the base number and the index is 5. If we had 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 10 times, 10 we can write it as 3 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 10 to the power of 2, or 10 squared. If the index is 2, we very often say squared. If the index is 3, we very often say cubed. If the index is any other number, there is no special name for it. All scientific calculators have a power button. On this calculator, it's here. The way the power button works varies from one calculator to another, so you need to read the instructions for your calculator to see how yours works. For this calculator, if we want to work out, for example, 2 to the power of 5, we could key in 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, then the equals button. Or we could use the power button. We key into the calculator 2, then press the power button, then press 5. Then press the equals button. The calculator will display the answer of 32. If I had 2 to the power of 5 and multiplied it by another 2, I could write it in the neat index form of 2 to the power of 6. If I had 2 to the power of 5 and divided it by 2, the second 2 would cancel, and one of the 2's in the first number, and I could write it as 2 to the power of 4. It's useful to consider powers of 10. 10 to the power of 2 is 10 times 10, which is 100. 10 to the power of 3 is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1000. 10 to the power of 4 is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10,000. We can see that the index number is the same as the number of zeros after the 1 in the answer. So 10 to the power of 7 would be a 1 with 7 zeros after it. To multiply powers of the same number, you can add the indices. For example, 3 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 4 is 3 to the power of 2 plus 4, which is 6. The reason for this is 3 to the power of 2 is 3 times 3. Then we have another times sign. 3 to the power of 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Altogether, we have 6 3 times together, which can be written as 3 to the power of 6. To divide powers of the same number, we subtract the indices. For example, 5 to the power of 6 divided by 5 to the power of 2 equals 5 to the power of 6 minus 2, which is 4. The reason for this is because 5 to the power of 6 is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And we divide it by 5 to the power of 2, which is 5 times 5. 2 of the 5's on the bottom cancel with the 2 of the 5's on the top, which leaves us with 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 on the top, which we can write as 5 to the power of 4.